we're gonna be looking to see who decides to do early bridge, who decides to go to Temple of Fiends and look for chests for money or other items.
It's such an interesting question, but personally, I don't like the idea of leaving those chests behind, unless I know for some reason Temple of Fiends is just so awful I can't get through it. Looks like we do have Life and Cure 3 at level 1 for the white magic. Black magic, we've got Warp, Bane, and Quad X. So not the ideal lineup, but Bane and Quad X can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, Quad X is good early game, and it is worth noting that Life is in a spot that is Red Mage learnable, even without class change. So early Warp, early Life, I feel like that's a pretty good level 1 magic for this current party. Not the AoE sweeping spell that you're really hoping for, but I've seen a lot worse, that's for sure.
It looks like Split has made the decision to go for Provoca, which this is kind of the... No, I'm sorry, that was right outside of Corneria. I didn't think he could get wolves there, but he did.
Maybe he was remembering that there is no flat bonus on the imps, and had to go elsewhere. Sometimes when you run a lot of seeds, you forget which seeds are where, or which item options are where.
Yeah, and I'm just so used to the early imps that I'm forgetting that the RNG table shuffle is on, so you won't necessarily get what you'd usually expect, but we do have I'm not sure how to say this, Esforzando?
I think it's Sforzando. I think you roll the you roll the S and the F in. But I've been wrong before, Trin.
Sforzando's going for Matoya's, or no, actually going for Provoca, it looks like.
Yeah, Split Punch checking out Matoya's cave. Wow, a huge pile of money in Matoya's cave. Holy crap.
That is extremely useful early on. It's going to buy a lot of spells and possibly silver bracelets if they're available. We didn't see anybody checking Armor Shop yet.
No, but yeah, that money pile is exactly what you want to see early game.
And all
question
three
in
of our
chat,
feature runners...
Oh, go ahead, Trin.
All three of our feature runners going for early bridge. That's a little surprising to me. Although Split is backtracking, is Split maybe going to go to Matoya's?
Yeah, maybe he's running back to Corneria to get items from the saving items from the shop. Maybe now that he's got all that money. I don't remember seeing what was in the item shop.
I don't think we even got a look yet.
Oh, interesting. He's just filling out his he's like, I got all this money, I better run back to town and spend it. Can't say I blame him.
An early warp is nice. It definitely puts an ice cave play firmly on the table. Oh
yeah, definitely. But the question I wanted to address in chat was someone said no Temple of Fiends or TOF1. One of the new options since the tournament you guys might be more familiar with started was the early bridge option that Triton mentioned. The bridge is available to cross without having to kill Garland immediately. So depending on how you're feeling and what options are available in spell shops, sometimes people will elect to just run straight to Provoca or straight to Matoya instead of going to Temple of Fiends first. But so speaking of Temple of Fiends, we are going to get to see what's in there because Sforzando is heading that way right now.
And that could be an early advantage, but I said they might be able to afford silver bracelets now. Lo and behold, gold bracelets are only in the 6,000 range, so Split Punch was able to pick one up. That is quite a surprise early on, but they got the good end of the shuffle.
Yeah, that's pretty cheap. None of that 400% gold bracelet nonsense.
Garland is down.
Yeah, and it looks like Edge Figaro is doing the same thing that Split Punch did and is running back after getting his Matoya money.
Now, I don't think Sforzando checked the chests, though.
I don't think he did either. In fact, I'm a little confused.
Could warp back, but...
Well, not anymore. He left.
Okay.
Well, Split Punch is heading up there, so maybe we'll end up seeing what's in those chests.
And the reason that I might sound extra questioning of this play, not to overstate the point, is if TNT is in there, that saves you Marsh Cave, which is a lot more valuable than the steps. So Split Punch is going to give us a look at these 3 treasure chests, and there it is, first chest!
Oh wow, the TNT.
So among our 3 featured runners, that could be a 10-minute advantage if they don't go back and get TNT.
Yep, TNT for Split Punch is definitely very nice.
I mean, sometimes the RNG just makes me look smart. Sometimes.
It's not just the RNG, my friend. Oh wait, maybe it is.
So now Split Punch is going to deal with Garland. A little bit of skip there, so I didn't get to see what was in the top 2 chests, but my goodness, you get the early TNT, and you're ready to throw a party regardless of whatever else is in there.
Oh, was that Lit 3 Iguanas? Welcome to the randomizer.
That is RNG, folks, but at least it's not a common enemy.
Wow, yeah, you don't see iguanas very often.
Volcano, you could see some iguanas with the giants early on.
That is true, although they're, I think they're only on that one floor and they're not very common, but, you know, knowing some people's luck, they'll show up and immediately first turn cast it and they'll just get wrecked. Alright, Edge heading over to Temple of Fiends. Looks like he'll be picking up the TNT as well. Maybe we'll get a peek at what was in those chests if we don't get any more vicious lag. So that's the TNT pickup for Edge Figaro there.
Yeah, definitely a valuable play that will pay dividends because if... Now, let me back up to this. Some runners might go back there with the ship, as we see Fire 3 is for sale in Provoca.
That's a huge pickup.
So they might do that, and looks like Flame Armor was in Temple of Fiends. But I think that's a little bit slower to walk from the ship than it is to just go ahead and get that and get the warp back.
Yeah, I'd tend to agree with you there. We're seeing some little Quad X on Garland here.
Interesting little side note, by the way. Saber is for sale in Provoca. Now that means could be Ninja learnable. So that could come into play later on.
Yeah, that is true. I have a feeling, and this is just a guess, that a lot of the higher ranking runners are going to end up trying to level their black belt a little bit at some point. Oh my gosh, Edge Figaro's finding the ghost in Corneria Castle.
Talking to the invisible woman for us.
Wow. For those that don't know, there is an NPC that's wandering around the castle that is, for whatever reason, is not visible. So, Edge Figaro decided to take time out and educate us all on the location. Awfully neighborly of him.
What are those little glitches that's in there? Oh, and Viz 2 is at level 2, so that's a very good little white magic spell to be available early.
Well, unfortunately, fortunately, yeah. I was about to say it's not learnable, but everything level 2 is learnable for white mages and red mages, so...
And it definitely bears mention to thank Nora for doing our restreaming tonight, and for Randomania for hosting us this evening.
Yeah, big shoutouts to Nora. He is doing the restreaming and the tracking. And even managed to point out the track the items that we did not mention. Although I believe Sforzano also has the loot since he killed Garland but did not check the Temple of Fiends chest, unfortunately.
Oh, and something had stone.
Oh yeah, we missed that.
Is turned to stone. Now, this brings up one of the interesting points of what they did with the randomizer. That first item shop is guaranteed to have 2 items for sale, pures and softs, in order to prevent you, in this situation, from being blocked by restoring the status of a party member. There will be only 2 shops in the game that sell softs, but one of them being the first city of them all is quite useful.
Yeah, it would be pretty bogus to get stuck with a stoned or poisoned party member with no recourse early. So that was a thoughtful addition by the Entroper when he made this randomizer.
Sforzando has picked up his ship. He's picked up his pile of money from Matoya's, And Edge Figaro is working on the pirates. Split, it looks like, is going to take, I don't know if you'd call this the more common or traditional route with early TNT of sailing to the north port of Elfland. I actually go to the south port of Elfland when I've gotten early TNT, but now he's going to Dwarf instead, so maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think having an early TNT means that the if you don't have to go into Marsh Cave and you're not doing it intentionally as a gamble, going straight to like Volcano or another place, depending on your spell selection, is definitely an option. And I'd say with the casts of Fire 3 available, it is certainly possible that some runner somewhere in this league race is debating doing some leveling on Zombles in the Peninsula of Power as well. Because you got to pick up golden experience whenever you can get it.
Runesword and Procape are in the Dwarf Cave. Those are useful items, not necessarily party time items, but useful. Good utility. And I think we're about to see the play you just called for, because Edge is heading to the Peninsula of Power.
Yeah, it's I'd say with a couple of casts of Fire 3, if you get lucky, and depending on how the Zombles roll, you can do a full clear out. And another thing that's nice is that the enemies that are on the Peninsula of Power, since they're a little bit tougher, they're really good at killing off party members you're not interested in having alive, like your Thief and your Black Mage once he runs out of fire casts.
Thematically appropriate, the Frost Wolves have Blizzard, but that does mean Rip for your party.
Yeah, and also as an aside, it looks like Sforzano did remember that he forgot to check these chests, so that is a TNT pickup for Sforzano. Good on him for remembering to come back here. Because if he had gone all the way through Marsh Cave and not found the TNT, he would have been a sad panda.
Yeah, that could have been very unfortunate. Even now, I think he'll probably regret the decision to not check those chests early, but maybe he saw something nasty in one of the enemies that he wanted to avoid. And
for those of you,
gold here too.
Yeah, for those of you wondering why Edge Figaro is deciding to kill giants, they are an okay amount of experience points, but they do give quite a bit of gold compared to other things. So it might be that Edge is deciding to use his house charges here and to restore his magic points, and he's tired of fishing for Zombo fights, probably.
Split went to Melmond, but I didn't get to see the magic shops there. He checked the armor shop, so I'm assuming he was looking for pro rings and didn't find them.
Yeah, he kind of blew out of there real fast. But black magic is useful in... well, it could be that he didn't have enough money. That he's like, you know what, regardless of what's in here, I probably can't afford it.
It could be, but I'd like to know that anyway, so I know whether or not I need to worry about coming back. But
yeah, that's
me personally.
That is definitely true.
So, one of the things we saw out of Split that bears a little bit of mention is what I would call encounter manipulation. He did a hard reset when he got off the boat, so that he would see what the very first encounter in this area was, and he was probably hoping to see some EX Peds, or just Peds as their normal name is, but you get in the habit of calling them that because they're worth so much experience. He didn't find them in, I think, 5 or 6 fights. We do see the bottle for sale here in Crescent Lake. So they're not going to be an early farming spot for him, but he is probably going to have to farm in this overworld area because he's only in the level 5 range, and that's a bit low for Volcano.
Yeah, that would be that'd be a tough trek, especially when your only black magic spell that you're able to use for a lot of clearing is Fire 3.
Yeah, Volcano's not exactly the place you'd want to do that, so if it comes down to it, you might have to go Ice Cave first, although I think we just saw Ice 2 for sale, but probably not Red Mage learnable. Should be Black Mage learnable, I think.
Yeah, nothing in Crescent Lake is learnable by a Red Mage, if memory serves. Not without a class change. Although you think the guy that ran, all the Red Mages would be you know, really solid on that. So let me pull up my handy dandy table that I think I've schlubbed up on. Yes, yeah. So nothing is learnable in Crescent with by a red mage. However, quite a bit is learnable with a red wizard class upgrade. So
to answer a question in chat, yes, Split is. No, I'm sorry, you're asking about Edge, but it is Split who's up at the Peninsula Power, and Edge has gone there as well. So little route divergence from our featured runners. Life 2 is White Magic level 5. And Ice 3 is level 5, so not learnable by Red Mage.
And in that slot, not learnable by Red Mage, but would be learnable by Red Wizard. Red Wizard can learn everything in Melmond once he class upgrades.
So definitely going to be hoping for that tail as soon as you can find it. It might even warrant fishing for it a little bit, but if you're in go mode, it's hard to take time for the tail.
So we are seeing quite a bit of time investments by Edge Figaro and Split Punched in this Peninsula of Power. Or not Split Punched on the Peninsula of Power, rather Edge Figaro on the Peninsula of Power. And it looks like Split Punched is still killing ogres and trying to fish for an EX speed fight, perhaps.
Yeah, it is. This is the good and bad about skipping the Marsh Cave, is you get to avoid a lot of nastiness, but the downside is your levels are lower. Now we're going to finally get a look at these...
oh, nuke! The level 3
magic,
nuke!
and that's why you better check this.
Oh, that's going to be real handy. Ooh, and Wall available. Wall is Red Mage learnable, believe it or not. I was wondering if Sforzano was going to come back and teach his Red Wizard nuke as well.
Makes sense to check check what's available first, because he may not have seen the Life 2 in Melmond, but yeah, I don't think you want to leave here without getting nuke on both possible party members, because that will definitely be an advantage for farming. Fast and Life 2 at level 4.
Yeah, Fast is a pretty nice pickup. And that was Life 2 was not. That was Lit 2, I believe. Shouldn't.
Life 2 was in Melmond.
Oh, Life 2 is in Melmond. Got it.
And there's Tyro.
No, Tyro. Why? Edge is a dirty Tyro killer. I can't watch. He's so adorable. Oh, he's trying to quad X him? Ha, that's right. He doesn't have lower than 300 hit points. Tyro's making, did some pretty good damage to his Red Mage there.
Yeah, this is a bad encounter for him if he doesn't have low enough hit points for the Quad X, but now he does, so
Boo.
Shaved off enough to get that.
Boo. Boo that man. Now I'm sad.
It's okay, just hold your hat close to your heart.
I just need to turn on some Celine Dion and my heart will go on. We'll just try to make it, you know, we just gotta take it one day at a time, one seed at a time. We'll get there. We got someone in chat correctly pointing out that if you wipe a Tyro off the plane of existence with Quad X, do you actually get to keep the stakes?
Probably no, they're
not.
off in the 4th dimension. They're gone.
Well,
now,
that would be if you
Sforzando
use Zap, actually.
Sforzando did not do the hard reset in Crescent Lake, so he's a little more likely to see the Peds that he'd want to. We know that. He doesn't know, though.
Yeah, he saw one.
No casts of nuke yet. That's the downside of the levels, but Quad X could take it out in one shot.
And it will.
So that's a good pile of experience. The numbers don't look big because in the newer versions of the randomizer, they were reduced. Everything was scaled down. It's still the same ratios as vanilla, but it's scaled down so that you don't have experience overload in certain fights.
Alright, we got a bottle for sale. I don't know if we mentioned that earlier, but bottle for sale in Crescent Lake.
And those silver bracelets are not bad either. They're very low cost and they're a little bit of defense for your party members.
Yeah, there must have been a lot of jewelers in this particular seed of Final Fantasy world, because all the bracelets are cheap.
And Edge, after taking advantage of Peninsula Power, was able to purchase more gold bracelets back in Corneria, so pro on that strategy. Split is in Elfland, so I assume he has picked up Nuke already, because why wouldn't you?
Pretty telling that Edge Figaro did not even buy a gold bracelet for his dead thief, which tells me that he's pretty confident in not ever reviving that character, or if he is going to revive him, he'll just be a meat shield for a Kraken fight or something.
And with these 2x experience flags, I can't say I fault anybody for thinking that strategy, because that's that much more experience to your other 3 party members the rest of the way. That's like another 33% bonus experience. Because it is.
I think you're just dropping the math knowledge on us. I love it. But yeah, I didn't mean to disparage that strategy. It is definitely a valid thing to do.
So now Sforzando has to get his levels. He's only in the 5 and 6 range. And he will definitely need more before he's able to move on. Edge has just turned in the TNT, so he'll be able to advance to the rest of the world.
Poor Narek the Dwarf, sacrificing his body. I was wondering if Edge is going to remember he had warp. He got about halfway there and he's like, oh yeah, I can cast it.
Files. Files. Do you see what I see?
Is it happening?
It's happening. It's
real.
real.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Split Punched is making the early play for Castle Ordeals.
And you know, I would say that with these flags, with Castle Ordeals having an incentive chest and all the casts of warp that are available, it's looking pretty juicy. The only unrunnable fights in that entire zone is also Zombles, which are very easy to mow down with both Nuke and Fire 3. So
Sforzando has gotten the 4 Peds, and he's got 2 casts of Nuke to deal with them. That's pretty sweet, but I'm kind of curious how he did that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was too busy. I had to put on my seatbelt and buckle in, so I didn't fall off my chair when I saw the Ordeals play. So I didn't see if that was just manipulation or just luck for Sforzando into that grouping. It looks like he just got it on his way into the Crescent Lake.
He had already been into town. He did that from the inn, but maybe he didn't hard reset is all I can figure, because we know they're not there from the hard reset. Speaking of the unrunnable Zombles, Split Punch gets a look at them. And is Edge giving us an early Earth Cave?
I was just wondering that. I'm getting a little bit of stagger on my restream here, but yeah, it looks like he's heading over to early Earth Cave. Really interesting play by Edge. We might have to ask him at the end of the interview session here why he decided to go here. Maybe he's just checking the top chest and is going to peace out.
It's really easy with reset strats to check that first floor of treasure chests, and if you happen to find something like Floater or Crown, it can be a big advantage knowing that for your opponents who don't make that play, it's one of the last places they're going to go.
Oh yeah. I mean, and there is, we haven't talked about it a whole lot, but there is definitely a gap in this encounter table. You might have seen Edge tossing a few fights out and having a nice long run. So I know a lot of the experienced runners do like to check the top of Earth Cave if they know they can get a really nice run out on their encounter table. So I have a feeling that that's what Edge is doing, but we'll see if it pays off for him. Because so far the answer to that question is no.
Toxic Cobras.
Oh, well, they're very on flavor, right? They're poisonous. Toxic. It sort of works. I see what the randomizer was trying to do.
You see what Czar was trying to do. Anyways, so he's got to try and take advantage of that walk, it looks like, and get to the other room. He doesn't need to go back to the one he wiped out of. An ice sword is useful. Maybe not great, but useful.
Decides
Split
to walk
is
it
giving
out.
us a look at these Ordeals chest. We got a proing.
Probably nice to have, but since they're purchasable, not typically something. Wow, is Edge going even deeper into Earth Cave?
Don't think he got to... Well, he might be going to the next floor.
Yeah, I think he's going down to floor 2. It'll be interesting to see if he decides to go all the way down to the vampire floor or not. Meanwhile, Split punched. Oh, the floater in non-incentive Ordeals? What else is here?
Slab, what a play.
Wow. So Slab and Floater picked up for Split punched. That is hype. See, this is why you always go to Ordeals, Trenton. It's the play to make every time.
Including the time you didn't, I'm sorry.
Look, it's been a week. I'm still mad. And I also got baned through a ribbon on that seed. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, so folks, that is exactly why runners will take a calculated gamble, because Split Punch, it just paid off in a big way. Now here's the thing about it, though. With Floater being there, it means every runner is going to have to go there, but it's a question of how many places will they go first. They can go to Volcano, they can go to Ice Cave, they can go to Marsh Cave, or they can make the same play of checking the early floors in Earth Cave. I think the most common route you would see would be Volcano, Ice, Ordeals.
Assuming incentives are turned on, yes. I would agree with that. But yeah, definitely a big lead for Split, because he's going to be able to run quick, pick up his airship. He's going to have a whole bunch of other free chests to check. I mean, he'll be in technical go mode as soon as he finds the crown. But man, you've got a lot of leveling to do if you want to be able to survive Temple of Fiends. If you find everything you need this early.
Yeah, now that crown can be very elusive, because with him having the crown, and it's the Odd Eyes who apparently cause stone with their gaze.
Oh, good eye.
That crown can be elusive. It can basically be anywhere in the world that's not crown locked and not in Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Wait, so you're telling me that the crown can't be locked in Corneria Castle?
Strangely enough, no.
And I bet it's not in the bottom of Dwarf Cave by where Narek was either.
No, it would not be there. TNT sometimes is, but not that. That's the ultimate lazy dwarf when he couldn't get it from 10 feet behind him.
Pretty much. So that is a rod pickup for Split Punched. He's going to toss a few fights here and then check behind the Titan in Titan's Cave for those 4 free chests you can have access to once you have the airship.
And the Light Axe is a good pickup here. It's a useful cast item. I would definitely take that out of here. The rod lets you advance in the Earth Cave, so he would be able to complete it if he so chooses to go there now.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's gonna. Yep, he's gonna translate his slab while he's over here.
And it makes sense, because then you don't have to remember to do it.
Yep.
I had yesterday, I think, I landed and said, whoops. Got back in my airship, went back and had to translate it. Cure 4 is at level 5. I did not notice that earlier, but
oh yeah, you saw the light too.
White magic shop.
Wow, and Sforzando also making the right play toward Ordeals here.
Well, that is big for him, and it's going to narrow the advantage that Split Punched has. Very interesting to see 2 runners make that gamble. Now, it's not that much of a gamble, but...
No, it's objectively the right play to make in each and every scenario, Trin. Come on.
Even when it's not incentivized?
Especially when it's not incentivized.
So the islands here, the dragons have whatever treasure they have, and Split Punched is going to give us a look at that. Not see much in the first cave.
So some questions in chat about how the randomizer works and whether a vanilla version of Final Fantasy is required. Yes, you do require a vanilla version of the ROM of Final Fantasy, but all the information is in those links, and it's a good time. Meanwhile, Split Punch checking out Cardia Islands. So far, I didn't see much exciting in the first cave.
No, I don't even think we saw anything particularly good or utility-wise.
Power Staff sells for a lot of money, but that's about it. Oh, that one dragon is just giving Split Punch the business. There we go.
Oh my! The crown for Split Punched. Every
Wow.
play for items has paid off for him.
So this could be a fast seed, depending on because we've got technical go mode for absolutely required items for this seed, but we have seen 0 ribbons, which I almost consider at least 1 ribbon to be required when I try to end this game.
Yeah, and usually you would want 2 because you'd also want to have one for a mage who can restore your party to life.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Are you telling me that the King of the Northwest Castle was Astos this entire time? I did not see that one coming. Also, he didn't see that nuke coming because he just super died.
I have a theory as to what happened to the residents of this little kingdom here.
They got turned into bats?
They're the bad man.
Wow, those would be some bad men. Now, I have a question for you. How did they get to the floating castle without an airship, Trin? And also,
how did they get? Rope.
And how did they travel 2,000 years back in time to be in the Temple of Fiends Revisited? That's a really long rope.
No, see, that one just goes through a time vortex. It doesn't have to be as long.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's true. Wow, it's a metaphysical rope. All right, so that's a floater pickup for Sforzando, and he will be picking up the slab very shortly here as well. And there it is.
And Split Punch has turned the crown into the key, and he's going to be able to check a lot more treasure chests now.
Yeah, I'd say, ooh, the meme sword of Vorpal is a nice pickup. Not usable without class change, but...
And a good bit of money. And it looks like Sforzando saw something he liked with the zombie dragons, and he's going to see if he can't kill a few.
Yeah, zombie dragons are definitely an optional place to get some experience points. They sure die real nice to Fire 3, so he might just be picking up some experience where he can get it here.
And even if you're not going to necessarily get a lot of levels, just getting a couple here could definitely pay off.
Didn't look like anything interesting in Astos' castle. So Split Punch is going to go check Dwarf Cave. See if there's anything juicy in there.
So I thought our runners were going to give us 3 different routing strategies, and lo and behold, they all made the early Ordeals play.
Well, Ordeals, incentivized Ordeals with early access to Warp is a pretty nice play, especially when you've got nice gaps in the encounter table to get you down there. And a useless Ruby in the Dwarf Cave for Split Punched.
Only required about 4% of the time, and that is when the floater is going to be locked in some way behind the Ruby. But the Bane Sword was for sale here, which is one of the great utility items. Bane Swords can save your life.
Or at the very least, add extra memes.
Hey, I've had runs saved by using the Bane Sword, thank you very much.
You know, the Bane Sword is almost always useful. Like, I don't think I've ever picked up the Bane Sword and been, unless obviously it's not a progression item or a ribbon, but there's certainly worse items to find in a chest than a Bane Sword.
We found the Dragon Sword here in the key-locked Temple of Fiends. That'd be the only highlight there, so if you want to... Well, I'm not sure. Can Red Mage or Thief use that?
Not without a class change, unfortunately.
Okay. Edge will pick up the floater and soon Slab out of Temple of Fiends. I was going to say it could be useful against Agamas, but, well, apparently not.
Well, none of these runners have really kind of dug in for an experience grind. yet. So, but a lot of the culprits, either Agamas or Eyes or Zombie Ds, seem to have been passed up. Now we might see if Edge Figaro decides to stay here and take out these Zombie Ds, but they just have a lot of hit points, so they're not a especially attractive farm location.
Yes, Versando did a little bit against those zombie dragons, then he moved on. He seems to have figured out how to get the Peds. I wasn't watching carefully enough to see what he did, but he had another 3-pack of them, so he's probably done about as good with that as you can, even though he was the one who didn't go to Peninsula of Power.
Yep, and that's a rod pickup for Sforzando. And then I believe Split Punched already has the rod. Is that correct, Trenton? I think he picked it up when he got his airship.
Yes.
Yep, and Split Punched will also be picking up the bottle here, I believe. Oh, no, wait, no, the bottle is in...
Elfland.
Elfland, yep. But apparently Split Punch thought the same thing I did. And went there anyway.
As for will we see a class change, as chat asks, I think if we find the tail, they certainly will.
Although if they do, it will probably be after the black belt does whatever grind he might do. I'm all for low percent non-black belt grinding strategies, but that's really hard to pull off without a fighter. Alright, so we got a slab translation for Sforzando. Good on him for remembering to do that.
Not sure what Split is working on right now. Is he checking around for the bottle?
Yeah.
Oh, it's in Crescent, not Elfland.
Well, you and I are both terrible at remembering where the bottle is. So that's
for not writing it down.
That's a bottle in Crescent. Is he going to Ice Cave?
Are on with the randomizers, so that Ice Sword will actually be quite good for Volcano. Not so much if you're going to Ice Cave, though. And Split Punched is.
Now, some of you might be wondering why Split Punch is going to Ice Cave, and I initially was at first, as you could tell by the exasperation in my voice. But it is worth noting, unless Trent and I missed it, we are at a grand total of 0 ribbons for all the runners in this seed. So I think
that would give
Split
us
Punch
about
is...
a 1 in 3 chance of a ribbon here, because we would have Masamune, Adamant, Ribbon. The major plot items are off the table.
Tail could be one as well, actually.
Tail. Well, you wouldn't shake your fist at Tail either. Or Masamune, for that matter. So, 4 out of 5 items are going to help you. That's not bad.
Oh no, it's a solid play. And plus, there's a ton of other chests in Ice Cave as well that you look for on the way. So, wow, those are some stun touch wraiths. Oh no, they cast hold. Oh wow, Split Punch says, "Screw that, I'm out of here," and resets out of that fight.
Yes, and the eye in Ice Cave is also one of the preferred grind locations. It's a little riskier than other ones, but a lot of people really like the eye. And I don't mean the eye itself is riskier, I mean the dungeon around the eye.
Yeah, the eye itself is actually, random skills rolled and stats rolled aside. The eye, since it's an unrunnable fight, it's impossible to be ambushed by the eye like you can be with the Agamas. It's also impossible to get a first strike as well, but the eye tends to be a little less riskier overall and is worth just a little bit more experience than the Agama is.
But with the Agamas, you're never getting a random encounter in between, so by the time you're fighting anything else, you're usually at a much higher level, and it's a much safer encounter.
Yeah, that is very true.
Plus, you're also a lot closer to the exit.
Alright, so we're getting to see what's in Volcano here on Edge Figaro's side, in the bottom right corner of your screen. He's checking kind of the lamer to check chests in Volcano.
Yeah, I like to get that done early. I know a lot of people like to go to the party room early, where the big pile of treasure is, but I don't really see the advantage in that play necessarily. Split Punched is also about to give us our first look at the treasures in Ice Cave. If you haven't ever seen this trick before, pay close attention, because he takes that one trap specifically, warps back, and he gets to check and find the Masamune.
You know, you're never sad to find the Masamune, but I think he would have been a lot happier with a ribbon.
And we are going to see him go for the eye grind, because he then did another trap and put himself right there.
Huh, a bit surprising he's not going to... I imagine he'll probably eventually check the chests in the rest of Ice Cave, but might as well do it while you're here, I guess.
There's our first ribbon in Volcano.
That is a nice pickup.
And he is going to warp out and I guess save to make sure he keeps it. Then you don't have to go back and check for that again. So, interesting question, where would you put the Masamune for this eye grind? Because I believe Split Punched has done what I would do and put it on the black belt.
Yeah, the black belt does more damage with the Masamune. Depending on weapon fixes and a few other things, he does more damage with the Masamune until right around level 26 or 28, which is quite a ways. So, although if he really wanted that black mage dead, he'd be putting him at the front of the party. So he must really want levels for nuke or fast or something like that for his black mage to still have him alive.
Yeah, level 14 is still pretty low for your mages if you're trying to get your entire grind done. And considering that early go mode, that is a valid consideration.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Although, wow, this is a scary encounter. These guys had stun touch, if memory serves.
That
or wrath. Oh, hold, yep.
Yeah. Same net effect, you're stunned and can't move, but he gets the fire 3 off, which is what you want. Corneria treasure, by the way, being checked by Sforzando. A lot to keep up with 3 runners. Nothing in Corneria. I think
missed a couple of chests in Volcano, but I haven't seen anything yet. Oh, second ribbon.
Ribbon in Volcano.
Wow, Volcano is where all the pretty princesses live in this seed.
I'm wondering how bad of a joke I want to make right now.
I handed you the silver platter, but there, you know, there was a. I admire you for taking the high road on that one. So I would say basically as soon as these runners head to Volcano, they're gonna have their 2 ribbons. So the Edge Figaro heading here first does give him a little bit more time back, I'd say, over these other runners. Because once he finds Crown, because he will eventually check the Cardi Islands, like he's not going to not do that. He'll basically be in go mode with all the items needed to complete the game and 2 ribbons. That's pretty much all you're looking for. Always happy to find stuff like White Shirt or the Power Gauntlet, but
and we don't know, stuff like that could still be here. There's a lot of treasure chests we haven't seen yet.
Oh, there are a ton of chests we haven't seen yet.
True in both locations, though. There's still a bunch in Ice Cave we haven't seen yet. And we don't necessarily know what all hideous skills are in either place right now. The ribbon could make a big difference for its magic defense. How are we doing with these fires, by the way? They seem to have a good bit of HP.
Yeah, fires always are annoying. Fires and Earths definitely. I'm always surprised by Earth and Fire, the 2 enemies that share that sprite, minus the color changes. Earths are always a lot more durable than you think that they are, and Fires are no different.
Yeah, if they had a little bit more experience, that would make that nicer. But sometimes they're your best option.
Yeah, if you got a low rolled Fire, that is a grindable spot that you can grind in the Volcano on a certain trap tile that will give you no encounters between it, but they are not as good experience as many of the other ideal grind spots. But sometimes in the randomizer, you gotta take what you can get.
Yeah, it also has the advantage of being the fastest one you can get to.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's right on that second floor Volcano there, along a whole bunch of unrunnable unencounterable tiles. So we're about to see our first glimpse of the Agama here, and I have a feeling that Edge Figaro is going to be really hoping that these end up being grindable for him.
Split, meanwhile, continues to work with the eyes. He's got all 3 of his party members up still, so he's working on party levels right now. We don't necessarily know if he's going to do a solo black belt grind, but I imagine if you're in this, you're in it all the way. Quad X looks like it took care of the Agamas, so...
Yeah, it means they have less than 300 hit points, which is good.
And Sforzando went for the big pile of treasure chests and gets rewarded with his first ribbon. Heal Helmet. This is about the edge of the useful range for that Heal Helmet. It is valuable here. It can help you recover from lava damage. But it is a bit more time consuming to use it in battles, so...
Yeah, I'd say that
edge of useful.
Heal Staff probably more useful, just because it doesn't take up a precious armor slot.
Well, I mean, useful for this point in the game. End game, you usually aren't going to be able to keep Heal Helmet around.
Yeah, and just there's so many better options.
Though I have on occasion used it as my upgrade for the Knight's Helmet.
Yeah, if you don't have a ribbon on your knight and he's got and they need to be put elsewhere, yeah, you could do worse than a Heal Helmet. Ooh, the Black Wizard on Edge Figaro screen does take a hit to the face, gets killed. That's probably what he was looking for, though. He's probably going to be setting up for an Agama grind here. Nope, brought him up using the Quad X.
Yeah, if Quad X is going to take care of him that fast, that's pretty good early on.
Alright, so they've got more than 184 hit points.
And less than 301.
Well, technically less than 300 because of the Quad X. Edge Figaro going to check the red D chest because he still has not been to Cardia Islands, does not have the crown yet. I'd say Sforzando is going to be the first runner that is going to be in quote-unquote go mode and find all these ribbons in Volcano. So he might be the first of our 3 featured runners here to really see, although Split Punched is here as well, so... But to really see these the ribbons in this volcano.
Very interesting, because Split has those extra levels, so he's going to have more spell charges, more resources to use for getting through this volcano. He should be able to do it much faster than the other runners.
Although Sforzano did just blow past that entire floor of volcano that had all the ribbons. Which is always rough.
The 2 ribbons were on this floor that Split is in. One was in the hard-to-reach chest, and one was in the big room. I don't think we saw any of them skip it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Sforzano skipped it. He must have ran out to save, and I just saw him blow past it. I apologize.
Yeah, I don't think he skipped it.
You could be right. 3 races to track, my friends. I apologize if I missed something, but it does happen occasionally.
Appreciate everybody who has joined us for a late night edition of Final Fantasy Randomizer. We're after 11 o'clock here on the East Coast. The temperature is too cold to bother mentioning what the number is.
The winds outside are blowing in a very random direction, which is appropriate for the randomizer race.
And we're about to get our first look at Carrie from courtesy Edge Figaro.
I have a feeling that she's going to be really pissed off that they stole all of her ribbons. And she took out her rage on the Black Mage.
He only had 1 hit point, but still, to not get a cast off isn't ideal, but Nuke takes her down, so she must be pretty low HP.
Edge Figaro doing a not often employed strat, but one that I have seen other runners doing, and I'm starting to glom onto, is that you go and kill Carrie first, and then you go back and finish your grind if you decide to grind here, and that way you don't have to worry about Carrie having some kind of ridiculous spell after you spent 20 minutes grinding your black belt.
There is quite a bit of sense in that.
See, I was surprised to see Edge Figaro leave the Agamas, but it looks like he is coming back for the grind.
Doing it with only 2 party members, so two interesting questions is not just how far do you take the black belt, but how far do you take the red mage?
Yeah, I mean, with I like to do a two-person level up myself a lot, but really once your red mage gets over, I'd say 400 hit points, which is enough to survive a nuke. You're really any extra levels on him besides getting you a few spell charges here and there are not especially useful, I think. Having him have a high enough health to survive a nuke and still be able to revive after a fight, in like Temple of Fiends or what have you, is very useful and not to be understated. But outside of that, you want all that experience funneled into that black belt so he can use his Jujutsu Karate to just destroy his way through the Temple of Fiends.
We know when Edge finishes up his Agama grind, he'll be in the clear to finish off this volcano. Sforzando is going for the red dragon now. And this is exactly where that 2x bonus shows up so much. Now, obviously, you're doing better than vanilla. You're getting double the experience, but when you've been used to the high percent bonuses that we've seen a lot in the tournament, and a lot of the non-tournament seeds reflected the flags of the tournaments, so they were those high percent bonus seeds, you could come to these Agamas, you could get 10-20 levels in just a few minutes, so it was well worth it. But now when it's going to take double that time, how much can you afford to invest?
Well, and on the flip side of that coin, there's almost how much can you not afford, or how much can you not afford to invest? Because even though there's low scaling, that Temple of Fiends is just as scary as it always is. Even with 220% max, you can still have a Kraken's still going to probably one-shot any person he attacks in the Temple of Fiends, and Chaos could have up to 4,000 plus hit points, so you still have to have an endgame plan to kill bosses, and with the way this party is rolled and the weapons they've seen, the Black Belt's a pretty reliable version of that. So I don't think we'll be seeing any runners going up to level 42, and we might not even see all of them go up to 32, but it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of these runners decided to grind up to level 32 just to get those extra hits on the black belt.
Do you want to go ahead and mention what the key levels are for the black belt so it kind of narrows down what our targets might be?
Oh yeah, sure. So so for those of you that don't know, the black belt is kind of like your basic, no frills attached melee fighter. Doesn't have anything extra special going for him the way that like a fighter might that class changes and can wield all the powerful items in the game and wear the best armor. But he does have some of the best scaling with levels, just raw damage output in the game of any class. So every so many levels, the black belt's additional hit per level he gains does allow him to do extra hits per battle. So like for example, you see Edge Figaro, he's doing the Agama grind, and currently his black belt is doing 4 hits at a time. But once he hits level 21, his black belt switches to 6 hits at a time. And the next threshold is level 32, where you jump up to 8 hits, and then 42 is the 10-hit threshold. And so you'll often see runners, choosing to grind up to a certain point and then stop at 21 or 32 or 42, to have black belt reach that extra level of boss killing power.
And if you're wondering why black belt gets 2 hits with each of those jumps, it's because he has 2 fists and he's not holding a weapon. If he's holding a weapon, he'll only get 1 hit for each of those levels.
Yeah, that's true. I always felt it a shame, he's clearly using the southern crane style of fighting, which uses both his fists and his feet. So, I don't know why the randomizer didn't choose to include extra hits for his kicking, but, fair enough.
Well,
they'd be too overpowered.
Would be a group attack.
Achoo! Oh, Edge Figaro.
Like Edge is going to depart after relighting his fire orb, so we have our first orb before these runners. And
yeah, it surprises me that Edge Figaro. Yeah, Edge stopped, or Split Punch stopped at 21. I did not see exactly how far or rather, Split Punch stopped at 21. I didn't see exactly how far Edge went. Question in chat: do black belts get more hit at the level cap of 50? No, they do not. Now, it is possible to increase your hit through Saber or Power Glove casts. I actually don't know if it's possible to get more than 10 hits with max level black belt and Power Gauntleting, but my goal is to never find out. Because if I'm at a seed where I needed to level my black belt up to 50 and cast Power Gauntlet, I probably would have forfeited.
So Split is going back in. I'm very curious about this play for Zondo. The idea of leaving. Maybe he's out of warp charges and he just really wants to save.
I don't know either.
Runner down though. One of our non-featured runners has withdrawn from the race.
Worth mentioning that Edge Figaro did pick up the rod, which is behind the ruby, and he will most likely shortly be picking up the crown. But doesn't have it quite yet. I would assume that he's on his way to the Cardi Islands.
I just want to verify that the runner quit because of a software glitch. He had a crash, so he was unable to complete the seed and would have lost an hour's worth of work, so you can understand that.
That's always rough. But there's always a forfeit or something happen in any large race, unfortunately.
And this is a good time to mention that the rules for the league are very forgiving to this, because you can pick up and race another day without losing anything because of this forfeit.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things I'm in favor of.
I'm still wrapping my head a little bit around this scoring system, but basically the premise is you're going to get credit for your best finish as a percentage of the winning time.
Correct, yep. So like, let's say somebody finishes a race in exactly 1 hour. It would be pretty rare, depending on what flags you're running, but certainly possible. So for every percent time you're over, so for example, if you finish in 1 hour, or if the first place finishes in 1 hour and you finish in 1 hour 30 minutes, you would get half a chaos point because you are 50% slower than the first place. So anything over double the amount of time it took for first place to finish, I believe, is how that works. Is where it cuts off.
Looks like Split Punched has dropped it down to just the black belt now. Reloaded on heals, which was an interesting play. That means he's got more resources to be able to take this grind farther. And 22 now.
Yeah, crown pickup for Edge Figaro. Edge Figaro did stop at 21, but Split Punch going back in will give him a beefier black belt. Very interesting to see the diverging strategies here. Meanwhile, Sforzano heading into Ice Cave. He will be picking up the Masamune from the incentive chest in here. We'll see if he decides to do anything with the eye as far as a potential grind location.
Looks like Edge is going to go ahead and finish out the Crown Quest and get the Mystic Key. First, he's got to deal with Astos.
I'm surprised every single time it turns out to be Astos. The script for this game is clearly written by M. Night Shyamalan. Because the twist, you see.
I'm trying to get a quick look at some of our non-featured runners just to see what else is going on out there. Looks like Volcano is the common place to be right now. A couple of them in Ice Cave, though.
Yeah, I also have several of them in the background. Looks like a lot of them are right around 1 or 2 orbs completed.
I was just curious if we'd see any major divergence out of anyone, if maybe they ended up in a different dungeon or anything, but it looks like a lot of our runners following a pretty similar route right now. And they've been well rewarded with the major items and the ribbons for doing that.
Yeah, this is a pretty, I'd say with Crown and Cardia Islands, which is a pretty free location, and both Floater and Slab being in the Ordeals. This is a pretty fast seed for the most part. So the real challenge in a seed like this is how efficient are you with your leveling strategy? How efficient are you with your movement around the overworld? You know, are you doing things in a good order? Are you spending the least amount of time running back and forth? Are you efficient with your buys? You know, these things will make a much larger difference in a relatively fast seed like this, as opposed to a seed where it's a very large item hunt. I mean, they're always important, but they're especially important in a seed like this, in my opinion. So we're going to be seeing Edge Figaro heading over to Gaia. I believe, I think we missed it, but I would be surprised if he went here without the bottle. So Edge Figaro most likely already has his bottle and will be picking up the Oxial as well.
Yeah, it was for sale in Crescent Lake, so very logical to get it there and then come here.
Yep, there is a Oxial pickup for Edge, which is very nice.
Curious now if you go get the chime or go straight to the Sea Shrine. But you're closer here, so Edge is doing, I like this play, go ahead and go get the chime.
Yep, and you know, I was just talking about your routing and your planning and your overworld is important, and you know, picking up little efficiencies like this when you're nearby, you know, that's how you shave seconds and up to minutes off your time. Edge Figaro being a real friend to Tyros and resetting past him, showing his true colors, unlike some, you know, monsters that we saw earlier.
Yep, the Tyro will live on in your heart. If only
my heart will go on. Is that my second Celine Dion reference of the stream? I really need to get out more.
You can't, it's too cold.
We'll see, it was cold outside the tent.
A couple weeks ago, actually, at Universal Studios. It was ridiculously cold, but still enjoyable.
Well played. So there is a chime pickup for Edge Figaro. Very nice.
He will be the first to pick that up, so he now has access to Mirage Tower. Now, if he needed something, he could make the gamble on first or second floor Mirage Tower. But having all the Go Mode items, I don't think we'll see that play.
Yeah, I'd say the only item he might be happy to see is some kind of defensive item, whether that be a white shirt or the defense sword. Red Mage does have access to Invis too, but it's nice to have that option on your black belt in case he has to solo kill Chaos or some kind of craziness.
And the Power Gauntlet would be our other very good utility item.
Yep, that is very true.
And if you happen to find the Sun Sword, that wouldn't be a bad thing right now either, because if your black belt is still low enough that Masamune is better for him, you can put Sun Sword on the Red Mage.
That is true. Although I'd say if you're in, it depends on how far they level. At 21, definitely, but I'd say if you're at 25 or 26, the difference that Masamune would make being on the black belt, you might as well throw it on your Red Mage at that point.
So, oh, by the way, there's a katana in the Ice Cave, which, although for Sforzando, who has not been using that thief at all, doesn't look particularly valuable right now, but it could be good in the hands of a ninja.
Yeah, I mean, the katana, the big thing that katana has going for it is that with weapon fixes on, which they are in this round of the league, with weapon fixes on, the katana is tied with the highest crit rate in the game, which is the same as the Vorpal. At a crit rate of 60. Oh, there's your Sun Sword, Trenton. Looks like it was in Ice Cave.
The eye was guarding it all along.
Yeah, the Ice Cave is where all the good swords were, man. Masamune and the Sun Sword.
To follow that theme. One dungeon has the defense, one dungeon has the swords.
That's been pretty close to this. We have the Ice Cave was the sword dungeon. Volcano was the beautiful princess dungeon with all the ribbons. I guess the Temple of Fiends was the Explodey dungeon with fire armor and the TNT. And Marsh Cave is the who cares, I never want to go there dungeon. Just as God intended.
And of course, that's where the power gauntlet will be.
Probably. It's probably crown locked, would be my guess.
Well, that wouldn't matter now. They've got the crown. Crown locked only matters if you have to double dip.
That's true. But having it be crown locked would mean it was in the most annoying corner of Marsh Cave.
Now, crown locked C, that is the one I'm still waiting to see in one of these races when one of the major items is there.
It's gonna happen someday, man. You just gotta keep believing.
Has the same chance as anywhere else. Well, not exactly the same chance, but still.
Alright, well, we've got Split Punch continuing his grind here.
He's 32 now. This is one of the possible places where he'll break off. Or he could take a gambling approach and continue to level this black belt on the premise that it helps with encounters and stuff running away, but no, looks like he will leave.
Yeah, I agree with the with leaving at 32. I mean, grinding to 42 is quote-unquote very safe, but I think the time you have to invest here, I don't know if you get back on the back end of having Temple of Fiends go faster. So cube pickup for Edge Figaro in the waterfall cave there. And we're seeing, looks like Sforzando is, he's nuking his party in some lava here. Looks like he'll be setting up for a little bit of a grind himself. Meanwhile, Split Punch.
Not that tough, so it's a good place to pick up a whole bunch of experience. It's also where, by the way, two of our runners we don't see here, Minochi and Will Bloodworth, are at. They're working on their Agama grinds. Split Punch is working on Carrie, though, and Carrie is gone. She goes bye-bye.
Yeah. Rip Carrie.
Fire Orb is restored for Split Punched, and Edge is working on our second required dungeon, the Sea Shrine.
And because he Edge is in go mode, he's got some levels on his black belt and red mage. So I'm gonna interrupt that thought because Edge was talking all that smack early in the game about seeing a ghost and went to talk to the invisible party member in Corneria Castle. And here he gets his first unrunnable counter in Sea Shrine, and it's ghosts. I feel like that's poetic justice.
I think by ghost he meant the invisible woman.
Yeah, those ghosts are like the invisible woman's like older brothers. They're like, hey, I hear you've been talking to our younger sister, and then they just try to beat the crap out of him. Luckily, his black belt knows karate, so it's alright.
And some other Japanese words too.
Sure, why not? Ha! See, there it is. Even more ghost fights. Get wrecked, Edge.
Who are you gonna call?
Edge Figaro! Alright, so we got Split Punched heading up to Gaia. He will likely be turning in his bottle very soon here. Yep, he's already freeing the fairy. He'll be picking up his Oxio quite shortly. Lid and Lock 2 available in one of two Black Mage shops in Gaia. Pro rings for sale there also. Edge Figaro opting to take the... Oh, Great Sharks have Bane! Oh, wow! Luckily, he's got ribbons on his Red Mage and Black Mage. Or Red Mage and Black Belt, but woof. That is rough.
Those do their job for now. But, I talked about stuff you're going to see again in Temple of Fiends, and you're going to see those sharks again.
You sure are. That's going to make keeping your party members alive on the waterfall harder than it is normally.
Talk about things we didn't need.
Oh, another Gershark fight. Edge Figaro just getting the business from the encounters in the Sea Shrine here.
And the rest of the runners still have that to look forward to as well. Anything insane so far? Yeah, sure, I just don't remember all of it because then the next insane thing happens. Mage Staff is here. That is a useful pickup. Angry Sharks with Bane, though. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, but you know, the things you don't want to see with bad abilities are things that show up later in the Temple of Fiends. And Gersharks with Bane definitely show up.
We haven't seen a water encounter yet, I don't think.
No, we haven't. Water encounters aren't super common in the Sea Shrine, believe it or not. But most runners will tend to kind of preview them on the. There is one trap tile with in front of a chest that has a trap, or rather a water encounter on it. But because these runners are in go mode when they enter the Sea Shrine, you know, we're not going to see that chest most likely. So if we don't find out in this last jog to Kraken, we probably won't until Temple of Fiends.
Looks like Split Punched has picked up the chime, and now he is going to make his way, I assume, to the waterfall.
Edge Figaro, he spent all that time reviving his thief and his black mage. Oh, and the lobsters cast Crack! They have Kraken heat, and it killed off his 2 party members. Oh man, that is hilarious.
And not good news for Temple of Fiends, because you're going to see those in large parties. And yes,
yeah.
Ribbon will defend against Crack, but ooh, once in a while.
Yeah, do you know of anybody, Trin, that got cracked or baned through Ribbon recently? Might still be upset about it in a league race? I don't know anybody like that.
Who knows? Maybe we can find somebody in chat or something. Hey, here's Kraken.
I was so close.
Time to leash the Kraken. He's got lit too, so rip those 1 hit point party members.
That's actually
a good job.
Yeah, that's actually a clever move.
Didn't do it.
A clever move by Kraken. Doesn't, you know, he can't one-shot your party with 1 hit if he casts lit 2 and kills 2 other people instead.
But apparently he has just no hit points because he is dead. And a bunch of lobsters who can cast Crack, so run away from this fight as fast as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And he did, and has the water orb. Edge Figaro with our 2nd orb.
Boy, that is, I can't imagine the rage that would have happened if you had been baned through a Ribbon 1 step away from being done with Kraken. That would have just been rough.
True final boss, I mean, that would have been absolutely the most evil thing it could have been.
Meanwhile, on Sforzano's screen, we haven't talked about him a whole lot recently, and that's mostly because he's grinding those Agamas.
Yeah, I think 32 is probably a pretty common target we'll see runners go for, getting those extra hits and getting the benefit of the high levels in the magic defense. We didn't really talk about the magic defense. You want to mention that?
Oh yeah, so most classes, when they class change, will end up getting better one way or another. You know, they have access to new spells or equipments or what have you. But the black belt is an interesting case because when they black belt just as a normal class, every time he gains a level, he gains 4 extra magic defense. But when you class upgrade from a black belt to a master, for whatever reason, the master only gains 1 magic defense per level. So it is definitely an interesting strategy because if you are going to power level your black belt, you want to do it in a way such that he will gain as much magic defense as possible. So yeah, so if you end up having the tail and class upgrade, you typically want to do it after you've done your black belt grind, so he doesn't miss out on all that magic defense.
I'm taking another look real fast to see if I can get an update on some of our runners. Nothing too exciting that I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, I'm seeing some eye grinds, some Agma grinds.
I think Minochi is about to go for the Sea Shrine after getting the Oxeo.
Yeah, that does appear to be the
seems to be
case.
in roughly the same place. And Sforzando, just reducing the world's Agama populations. Folks, get your Agamas spayed or neutered.
I assume
Help
he's
control that population.
He's trying to, you know, he's got this entire room that he wants wallpapered in the skins of Agamas. You know, but you gotta do it one at a time. They have to be, you know, harvested organically.
And it looks like Edge is on his way through the Mirage Tower now, our first runner to be there, as Split Punched is about to take on the Sea Shrine. And he gets to find out about the loveliness of these lobsters having crack.
But first he's gonna have a fun, unrunnable encounter with Sahags instead. They die real nice to nuke. And lit too. It looks like Edge Figure are opting to take the 4 vampire fight in the Sky Castle. That is quite a bit of experience. Which I'm guessing is why he decided to take it.
Hard to pass up on easy experience if you can get a bunch of it, because you need a little bit more of those random encounters that we'd skip in the high percent seeds. The idea in the high percent speed seeds is get all your levels really fast and then run away from everything else because it's faster. But here you're going to need a little bit more along the way.
Interesting. Edge Figure opting to check the less than, greater than chests in the 2nd floor Mirage Tower. Curious what he's looking for here. Maybe he's looking for a 3rd ribbon, maybe the white shirt or defense sword. It is worth pointing out that, oh, the tail! Edge Figaro finding the tail in Mirage Tower. It is worth pointing out that Edge Figaro did not level his black belt to 32 like our other 2 featured runners, so while he is technically ahead right now, his ability to progress through Temple of Fiends Revisited is a little bit lower than our other 2 runners, so he might be looking for stuff like Power Gauntlet or what have you.
That tail is such an advantage, though, for this Red Mage turning Red Wizard for magic. So, if other runners don't check that and you picked it up, that could be quite an edge.
I'm trying to think of... There wasn't a whole lot of white magic that looked really good for the Red Wizard. But I believe Life... Yeah, Life 2 and Cure 4 in Melman's. Although I think Life 2 was not available because it was in the 3rd slot, if memory serves. And the 3rd slot is not Red Wizard learnable. Maybe someone from chat can help us out, but I believe that that was the case.
As for save the Agamas or kill the Agamas, there is nobody who's pro save the Agamas.
Oh yeah, those guys suck.
Split is working through.
Agamas always inviting themselves over to my house, drinking my beer, cracking wise about my mama. That ain't right.
And they don't even have hats.
Yeah, exactly.
Edge is up to the Sky Castle now. He checks the left side treasure there. That's not an uncommon play, because it's easy enough to get to one side of the treasure chest, so even in Go mode a bunch of people will do that. There's still a couple of useful items out there, like Power Gauntlet, like Defense Sword, like White Shirt, that you would not be upset over finding.
No, I mean, even 3rd ribbon would be welcome. You know, keep that Black Mage around a little bit longer. He's still useful to be casting fast and a few other things, so... I'm enjoying the Agama facts in chat, by the way. And for those of you wondering why Edge Figaro is taking this Manicore fights in the Sky Temple here, or Sky Castle rather, these are very good experience points. One of the best in the Sky Temple, so if you're still looking for experience, worth picking up.
You could call it Sky Cave if you wanted to, and you'd make a bunch of people happy. Now, Edge is making
Sky
a
Cave.
liar out of me, because of course he is, and he's going for the other side's room of treasure chests, so he really wants some of that other treasure out there.
Yeah, I mean, if he felt desperate enough to check those chests over there, taking the extra time to check these 5 over here is not terrible.
He's using the warp strats to save on his walking a little bit.
Doesn't save a ton of time from going from the right side to center. Very useful on the third to last floor, though, where all the north, east, and west chest locations.
Level 33 for Sforzando, we know is going to take care of Carrie quite easily. Actually, Carrie apparently had some pretty high absorb, because that was not as big as I expected that hit to be.
No, he just barely tickled him. Is he bracking him? Carrie, our Kraken, much like Carrie, does not resist. Not weak to, but does not resist status.
I think it worked.
Wow, did that really just happen? I love it.
I think it did.
Sweet, sweet meme strats. Good work, Split Punch.
Split gets his water orb. Does definitely appear to be the leader right now. He's covered the most ground.
Yeah, I'd say Edge Figaro is well, Edge Figaro has more progress done. Of the 3 runners, I would definitely tip my hat towards Split Punched right now, with that extra levels on his black belt.
Yeah, you're right, I'm confused. It's just 11:30 and night, and it's cold, so I blame both those things. That's what I was thinking, in fact. I just said it wrong. And it looks like Sforzando is going to go for the Earth Cave, which should be quite a quick clear when you're in Go mode. It is so nice the first time you get to do Earth Cave in Go mode. It's a feeling like no other.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just the Earth Cave there's quite a few chests in Earth Cave, but they're so spread around and all over the place that it feels so good to just be able to blow right through it.
There's one of those utility items. The black shirt is here. That's a bank of treasure chests you would normally check, even in Go mode often, because it's so easy to get to. Chat, if you're wording for Warmech, now is the time. Edge is about to head to the Bridge of Destiny, where we're gonna see a Warmech on our first try.
Well, first he's got to deal with all these man cats.
Don't bother me with trifles. There will be Warmech tonight.
I mean, those are some really mannish cats. That's all I'm saying, man.
It looks like we've had another one of our non-featured runners drop out of the race, unfortunately. So, we'll wish them the best. They got a lot of chances still to improve.
Yeah, each stage of the league is 2 weeks, and there are several races that run during that time. So, the league does take your best score from each stage, or from your best score in any one stage in any race for your score for that stage. I'm not sure if I could explain that any more confusingly.
Hey, if you want more information, join the Discord and ask Maya.
Or check out those links.
And if they're still confusing, feel free to ask Maya.
You know, you should just ask Maya what the meaning of life is, or... Oh, he's still surviving.
Bye, Vampire.
Rip Vampire.
Well, looks like we are not going to get Warmech on our first try, because Edge makes it to the end of the bridge.
Alright, we're seeing Tiamat on Edge's screen, your bottom right here. Not seeing any Brack strats, unfortunately. Because Edge Figaro did not learn the meme spells. Wow, both fast and tempered got up. Wow, 11 hits to Tiamat 1 and still only about 483 damage. See, this is the real disadvantage that you see Edge's party, unfortunately, only being at level 22 or 23 or so. His black belt just does not hit as hard as Split Punch and Sforzando's black belt is going to.
And that's where you can lose some time when they're able to clear through these boss fights that much faster than you.
Well, and with no power gauntlet being found, it really makes Edge's party more reliant on the tempers and fasts of his mage brethren to really buff up that black belt.
He will get by Tiamat, and he's about to get his Orb of the Air restored. Orb number 3 for Edge. Meanwhile, it looks like Artea and Minochi, two of the runners we don't see, are working the Sea Shrine. Artea just restored his water orb. Just to give you an idea where other players are, but it does look like Edge is leading overall for this race. And now he's going to go to the Sea Shrine, so I gotta figure... The best I can figure is he's really wanting that power gauntlet, and he thinks it's worth time to look for it.
Yeah, or he... Gosh. I mean, now keep in mind, he's not... Having not been here, I think that means he does not have... did he come here once and pick up the Masamune already? I don't remember.
I could not tell you at this point.
Yeah, me either, unfortunately. Now, if he does not have... if he does not have the Masamune, that would be that would give him some like secondary backup attacking ability for his red mage. It would spread out the risk of having all your eggs in one basket of your black belt, but you know, I'd still rather have power gauntlet or the defense sword or white shirt at this point.
Oh my, this is a nasty ice cave.
Wow, is this the first time we see the lit 2 cockatrices?
Yeah, they used Blizzard before that.
Jeez.
Second Blizzard? Does that mean it's on the Medusa script today? Or are there two things with Blizzard?
I honestly don't know. I do know that I don't like taking multiple Blizzards to the face.
On the Medusa script, there's another one out there we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I'd say between that and the stun touch images and or wraiths, Ice Cave was definitely not the most friendly of locations in this particular seed.
Question in chat: in this format, is the power level black belt the most common strategy? Well, first of all, with forced parties, you might not have a black belt in this round of the tournament, but also with the low XP, I'd say it's a lot less common than you'd normally see. But with no fighter to tank, it makes it a bit more of a play that you're going to go for. And it looks like Edge is now going to get the Masamune, and he's going to go to work with the Eye. He's got only the 2 party members, and maybe now he's decided he wants that black belt to have levels before he turns in the tail.
Yeah, maybe that's something we did not discuss on his way into Ice Cave, but yeah, maybe this is just his preferred grinding location.
And his issue might have been forced with that tail, because you do want to turn it in for the magic. But you'd also hate to lose out on the magic defense, so if you get 5 levels here, that's a whole lot more magic defense.
Yeah, I mean, and with the way Temple of Fiends works, every possible advantage you can get yourself to have, the better. You know, if that extra 5 or 6 levels of difference of magic defense, you know, lets you resist another 50 damage from a spell, you know, it was all worth it. Because wiping a Temple of Fiends and having to come back can be a 5 to 6 minute time difference, minimum. Depending on where you die, I guess. So we see Edge Figaro setting up for the long hell grind against the Eye here.
Yeah, he's gone down to the 1 party member, which really commits you to this, because you are going to have to walk out of here, so you cannot be too low with that black belt, you're going to have to be able to survive. So getting to 26, that seems to indicate he's going to go for 32. Second chance for Warmack. Split Punched has reached the Bridge of Destiny.
No, I don't mean
that. He got one encounter.
Wow. Oh, he's going for the meme strats. Yeah, do it. Do it. Do it. Yes!
Did it work?
Oh,
hey, when that works, it is definitely faster.
Wow.
Orb number 3 for Split Punched.
Yep, and the cube will be picked up very shortly by Sforzando here as well, since he is in Waterfall Cave. Wow, 0 encounter bridge. I mean, that is the area in the game that has the highest encounter rate, and he just blew right past it. My hat is off to you, Split Punch. Well memed. He even finished it off with a Brack Tiamat. Like, what more could you ask for, Trin?
I'm sorry, did you just say the highest game? You want to think that one through?
It's not that floor? Is there a floor in Temple of Fiends that has a higher encounter rate than the screen on the Bridge of Destiny?
Try first floor Earth Cave. Hall of Giants. Oh,
well. Those are technically trap tiles, Triton. The rest of the screen does not have the global encounter rate that floor in Temple of Fiends does.
I don't know. 100% encounters, I think, is going to count in most people's books.
You come at the king, you best not miss, Triton.
I'll remember that if I go against the king.
Yeah. So if you encounter the king, make sure you don't miss, because it's not me. I get baned through ribbons and misspeak during commentary. That's how I roll. So we see Split Punched still looking for items in the Earth Cave. I'm curious as to what he's digging for. Maybe he's looking for that white shirt and defense sword that we keep talking about. Yeah, I have chat informing me that I win on a technicality. I would just like to point out that winning on a technicality is still winning. And a Split Punch gets to meet.
So this Earth Cave is not free.
No. But those Cobras were apparently more scared of him than the other way around, because most of them ran.
And that is one of those advantages to a high-level black belt, and why with a higher percent bonus you'll see a lot of people go higher levels to get those runaways.
Yeah, I was definitely tipping my hat towards Split Punched for the lead here. He still definitely is in the lead of our 3 featured runners, but if he's going to spend time looking for a lot of items, if he doesn't come up with anything worthwhile, he's definitely going to lose some of the lead he has over Edge Figaro.
Yeah, and I think we see, in terms of, at this stage, the progress is really a battle between the two of them. Off-screen, we've got Artea is working through the Sky Castle. Minochi, I think, is about to get into the Mirage Tower. Those will probably be our next closest runners. But you are definitely seeing...
Oh, I've actually got Minochi in Temple of Fiends currently. Believe it or not, he's fighting the Phantom right now. So we'll keep you updated on the status of runner Minochi, who's not currently on screen.
Yeah, you're right. He had that one froze up on me, so I didn't notice he had done that already. I thought he had one more dungeon to go. It's
all right. The temple or the background of Temple of Fiends battle screen looks very similar to the background of the Sea Shrine. Oh yeah, it looks like we've got, we didn't mention it, but Power Gauntlet was picked up by Split Punched, which could be a pretty big difference maker, depending on how gatekeepery some of the bosses are in Temple of Fiends. So the extra time Split Punch took taking out those chests that I was disparaging him for earlier seems to have paid off.
It's all risk reward. If you go through that Temple of Fiends and it's easy, then that's just pure time lost. If, on the other hand, it's a very difficult Temple of Fiends, then you might see runners have to leave there to go try and find it.
And that's never a good time when you hit a roadblock boss and your only recourse is to back out and have to go keep looking for items. That always just feels horrible. But we'll definitely keep you updated with the status of other runners as we have been throughout this race. We'll let you know if Mono runs into any craziness.
Yeah, I think we're going to be able to bring Minochi in here and let you see his progress alongside the other runners, hopefully shortly.
Ooh,
did I just see the bracelet too? The
wow.
Earth Cave has paid off.
What if he finds the defense sword and white shirt in these next two chests? I'm gonna throw up. Oh my god!
I didn't find the defense sword yet.
Oh my god! Okay, let me try this again. If Split Punch finds a winning lottery ticket and he sends it to me in this next chest, I'm gonna throw up. Right?
Question: how were the Agamas? The Agamas were quite easy.
Yeah, the Agamas were definitely very grindable. Actually, the Eye was pretty grindable too. I'd say the only grindable spots that weren't that great were the zombie dragons and perhaps the fires were not very grindable either. The blue D,
so the hardest working restreamer on Twitch, Nora, is getting Minochi set up here. The name hasn't transferred over, but that is Minochi fighting the Earths.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated on Sforzando. He definitely was doing well, but with Minochi in Temple of Fiends and him having the least crystals of our featured runner, we'll definitely be subbing in Mono here.
And we're just trying to do right by everybody and let you all see the lead, because this is our first look at Temple of Fiends. Now, we didn't get to see a lot of this. We knew he was in here, but when you have to look at another screen, it's a little bit harder to see everything going on. So I don't know how much nastiness we have seen so far, but we're here just in time to get our first look at one of the Fiends.
Yeah, the only thing I saw was that the Phantom didn't hit particularly hard. Judging by the level hit point total of his black belt is definitely over 32, although I don't think it's at the 42 levels. Your black belt typically has 800-ish hit points then.
Question about the tail being incentive. It was not.
Yeah, I forget exactly where the tail was, but it was not in an incentive chest.
I think it was in Mirage Tower on like the second floor.
Oh, yep, you're correct. It was in the less than greater than chest in Mirage Tower. Good memory, Trenton.
It doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't fail me. So meanwhile, Split Punched has got his orb, and was that his fourth? I think that was his fourth.
If that was Earth Cave, I believe it was. But our power restreamer Nora here is just working the cropping magic on Mono stream there. It's like changing a tire while you're driving the car, kids.
Something like that. If there were an easy way to set it up off stream, they would, but it takes a while. I've done restreaming before. It's not the easiest thing to do, and changing things out on the fly.
Alright, so we see Mono.
Carry 2.
Yeah, we'll see Carry 2, definitely capable of being a roadblock boss. She does have 6 hits. Can scale up quite a bit if the randomizer gets a hold of her, so... Oh, was that Mono with the white shirt I saw there?
I was looking away, and it looks like you are correct. So Mono did some chest exploring as well. Although, that was in Earth Cave?
It was in Earth Cave, yep.
We just saw it.
And meanwhile, we got Split Punch entering Temple of Fiends as well. and encountering the nice, lovely, unrunnable 4 Gas Dragon fight.
And this is one of those fights that the change was made for on the experience. Everything by ratio is the same, but the numbers are reduced versus vanilla because this is one of those places where you could see experience overflow.
Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating than in the old versions of the randomizer, killing 4 Gasties and having experience overflow and getting almost nothing for it. I guess maybe getting Bane through Ribbon would be more frustrating.
Looks like Minochi got a hero run
wow.
on this water floor.
And he gets a first encounter through the cracking lobsters. Boy, the only thing I'm curious about is the Ribbon status of the rest of his party. He could have lost 2 party members easily on that floor.
Yeah, we won't get a look at the equipment for the.
Oh, he's casting Wall in his black belt. Does he have no ribbons?
It's possible, or he might have it on the red mage, and he's relying on Wall for the black belt.
He could be. That's a ballsy move, but it's the safest.
He's got that Cure 4, so he'll make liberal use of it here against the black belt because that might be the only way you're getting past this Kraken. He obviously didn't get the Power Gauntlet if he didn't use it here, but he gets by Kraken too.
Wow, nicely done by Mono there. Meanwhile, Edge Figaro did finish up his eye grind and is leaving Ice Cave, but manages to not get stun touched to death by the one trap tile that he was probably most worried about leaving, so he should have a clear exit on the way out.
Yeah, Split Punched is here now in Temple of Fiends. He's up to the Phantom. It's still a long way to go to get there, so what is Minochi going to be able to do with this lead?
Mono gets the 4 unrunnable worm fight. That is unfortunate. Also worth noting, we didn't really point it out while we were seeing Temple of Fiends craziness, but Edge Figaro apparently did level his black belt all the way up to 42. Judging by his hit point total there.
I think I just saw 41 flash by, so roughly, I mean, you're going to be 42 by the time you get to the bosses, so that could pay off for him if we've got a really bad Tiamat, which Minochi is about to find out.
But unfortunately, I believe Edge Figaro still has. I do not believe he has gone through Earth Cave yet.
I do think you are correct. He came here after finding the tail in Mirage. I mean, every decision you make is a risk-reward decision, but to go this high, this late, there's a lot of risk in that. Now, a high evade Fiend, and there's a lot of reward on the other side.
You know, I have a feeling that now that I think about it, perhaps since he had Earth Cave left, he wanted to level up his black belt just to... If your black belt's 42, you do have a lot more enemies that are going to run from you in Earth Cave. So maybe that played into his decision-making there, perhaps. Meanwhile, Minochi, still working on Tiamat. Haven't seen a whole lot scary out of him quite yet.
No, I think he hit the black belt fairly hard, somewhere in the 400 damage range. Because he did use a Cure 4 on Slap. And Tiamat is down, so Minochi, few steps and possibly another encounter away from Chaos.
Well played by Minochi here so far, but you know, Chaos is definitely... Chaos is a worthy final boss to this randomizer. His base health is ridiculous. He has 2,000 base health, so this randomizer could spin him up all the way up to 4,400 health. So we'll have to see what the randomizer did to Chaos. I don't think we've seen Nuke or Nuclear or Cure 4 yet, so anything could still happen here.
That inventory just flashed by real fast, but I don't think I saw a ribbon on Fad.
Yeah, and Minochi did not cast Wall on his black belt this turn. Ooh, Chaos just cast fast. Oh no! You better stack those invis. You better stack them fast. Wow, this could be rough. If Chaos gets a hold of black belt before he can get more invisibility stacks, it could be lights out. 11 hits? Was that 11 hits?
50 on 11 hits?
Strap in, kids. We might be here a while. Maybe that was only one out of 11 hits. Maybe is all that crit. All right, I think that was our fourth Invis 2 stack here.
I think it was just the third. It was 2 white shirts, 1 Invis 2. Here's the fourth.
Oh, is it? Okay. Once you hit 5 or so, you're very hard to hit.
300 damage on that hit. That is... could take you a while to chip away at this hit points.
Well, Chaos has been playing pretty nice. He's been throwing a lot of useless skills and spells out. Oh, Red Mage paralyzed. Oh, massive hit on Chaos. And Chaos goes down! Manochi 85 takes first place with an SRL race time of 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 19 seconds.
Very well done by Manochi, and quick shout out to Artea off stream, right now about to enter into Temple of Fiends. Wow, so very high absorb Chaos, but not much in the way of hit points. He was definitely in the 1,400-ish range, I think, if my addition was correct. So Split Punched is working through Temple of Fiends right now. I do think he's in the lead of the rest of our runners, and we know this is going to be very completable by anybody with a 32 black belt now.
Alright, Split Punch getting past Carry there.
Here's this water floor. Now, we know there's some nasty stuff between these monsters, and we still don't even know what waters have because we never saw them. Here's the Bane, and if you're short on ribbons, this is gonna hurt. Oh! That was probably even through a ribbon.
Oh, wow! Are you kidding me?
Does he have no life?
He has no life? Oh, no, he's got it in the upper right there. Yeah, there we go. Oh, wow. We are joined in voice comms here by Manochi85. Congratulations, Mano. You took first place in a pretty tough seed. And I have to say, your compatriots that are running the rest of the seed did not have the same luck on the water floor of Temple of Fiends that you did. You Hero ran right straight through that thing and did not get a single crack lobster or any other nastiness.
Real quickly for those watching, this is Artea that's going to take over this third spot now.
Artea taking the time to check out the chests in the Phantom Room.
No encounters in here, so if you need something, it doesn't hurt.
Wait, did you just tell me, what is it? Lobster got cracked? I didn't see any of those.
Oh, wait, now we can hear you, Mano.
Hey guys, GG. Thanks.
Hey, congratulations, well played. Good job taking first place and earning yourself 0 chaos points for this stage of the league.
Nice.
So you were not one of our featured runners, Mano, but we did switch to your view. I'd say right in between Lich and Carry. So maybe you want to walk us through maybe an important thing that you thought that you noticed or did at the beginning of the seed. You know, something that you think that might have gotten you that first place victory. Did you do anything wild or crazy?
No, I went to POP and I saw was it the Frostwolf have blizzards, so. That's Ice Cave is a no-no for me then. And then I saw like Zombo's weak and stuff. So I just went Ordeal first.
Sure. So, how high did you level in the Peninsula of Power?
I took around 3 encounter, maybe level 9.
Nice. So then I'm guessing you said you went right to Ordeals after that?
Yep. Went straight to Ordeal, got my floater and slap, and found my crown on Zordia Island. Was in go mode. I was looking for ribbons for, so I opened all the crown chests for ribbons. Didn't find any, and then I went into Volcano and found one, and that's go mode for me.
So you had one ribbon at the end there?
Yeah, one ribbon.
Would you like to know where the second ribbon was?
Floor.
Wait, where was the second ribbons?
Well, I assume you got the one in the room full of chests, and the other one was in the winding staircase guarded by fire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we saw you casting wall on your black belt for the beginning part of Temple of Fiends, so Trin and I were kind of guessing that you had put the ribbon on the red mage just to have life available and then switched it to your black belt for the end of those fights.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Nice. No, that's really smart play. So where did you ultimately end up grinding your black belt, Mono? I'm guessing it was on Agamas?
Yeah, it was on Agamas. I'd have to warp out and go back in again.
Yeah, in case you were curious, we did see several of our other runners go to Ice Cave. The incentivized chest was Masamune, but the eye was actually quite grindable, so we did see a few of our other runners spend some time and level on the eye. So there were actually quite a few leveling places available in this seed. I'd say, ironically, if the one thing Ordeals did not have, which was a good leveling spot, the zombie dragons had just a ton of health and were not particularly grindable.
Yeah. I was trying to farm on zombie too as well, but I saw they had too much health, so I just ran away.
All right, so we've got Split Punched taking his attacks in on Tiamat 2. Does manage to take him out. So Mono, were you at all nervous when you got to Chaos and saw that your black belt was doing pretty low levels of damage to Chaos? Turned out he didn't have a lot of hit points in the end, though.
Yeah, I'm quite nervous if he had nukes, like nukes and nukes back to back. I had like 8 stacks of Invis already stacked up, so hitting normally it's fine, but if he use any type of spells, I'm doomed.
Yeah, Trin and I got a little nervous in the beginning because Chaos opened up the fight with Fast, which is always scary. But then he spent a lot of time doing things like Slow 2 and Stop, ended up giving you a lot of time to just layer those Invis 2 and White Shirt casts.
Yeah, I got really lucky on the White Shirts. I didn't check anything on there except that spot with Opal Bracelet and White Shirts.
Yeah, I had a Enchanter's Blessing, or a Commentator's Blessing moment there, because we watched one of our other runners check those chests in Earth Cave, even though he was in Go mode, and I couldn't believe that Opal Bracelet and White Shirt were there. So did you just go into Earth Cave earlier, or did you just randomly check those chests for items?
I randomly checked those chests right there because I have warp. I can warp back out to the last war and then just go back.
Chaos opens for a hit against Split Punched, and he's got no Black Mage here. He does have the Power Gauntlet, so he found that at some point.
Yeah, I'd say the Red Mage is getting off the Invis 2 casts. Ooh, he's lucky Slow 2 decided to hit the Red Mage and not the Black Belt. That's really going to help him out now. I'd say as soon as he starts attacking here, he's going to be really hitting Chaos for a lot of damage. Oh, and a huge hit!
So, 1,000 hit points or so for this Chaos.
Wow. And that is a second place victory for Split Punched. Split Punch finishing with an SRL time of 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 10 seconds. Just about 8 minutes behind Mono.
That's around, we checked, what is it? Ice Cave, right? I didn't check Ice Cave at all, so I saved 8 minutes there.
Yeah, could very well be. Alright, so we've got our buddy Sforzando here, back in our from one of our featured starting racers, and it looks like he is on carry. So he made some good time in the back end of the seat to catch up quite a bit. Meanwhile, Artea making his way towards Chaos. And Edge Figaro still working his way through the Earth floor.
Real quickly, Len the Cat and Salty Fry are also in Temple of Fiends at various stages. Artea with just that black belt, well, I was wondering if that would be difficult, but no, Artea is going to make quick work of Chaos.
No, he must have leveled to 42. I bet Artea just feels dirty playing with a solo black belt to win him the game, so I'll enjoy the moment here. All right, so yeah, third place finish for Artea, 1 hour 54 minutes 26 seconds. Just about a minute and a quarter behind Split Punch there.
Minochi, any thoughts you'd like to share with us?
No. Sorry, guys.
No, GG. Definitely well played to you, sir. Good job taking first place in the league race.
Indeed, very well played tonight. Let me throw one more question at you. With the format of the league standings, playing spoiler does have some value. Are you going to keep entering these round one matchups?
Yeah, if you manage to take first place over somebody, you could really force more chaos points onto people.
If the matches are on time, yeah, like on a good time, yeah, I'll play for fun. It's funsy anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah, it's just fun to race in general. And if any of you guys are interested in checking out this randomizer or have any questions about it, our community is very welcoming. We have a Discord. There's lots of fun ways to play this game and fun people to play with, except for me. Alright, so we got Lem the Cat in here. Another one of our runners in the Temple of Fiends.
Was that Zap from Lich?
I thought I saw it.
I think he just took out 2 of his party members.
Well, we know how many ribbons Lem the Cat found. The nice thing about having life available rank 1 is that you don't feel quite so bad about spending charges for it.
Well,
And
I'm really lucky. I didn't see the Zap from Lich at all. I just nuke him and he dies.
Yeah, and your hero run through the water floor was absolutely incredible, Mono. We talked about it a little bit while you were sorting out your mic issues, but the lobsters also had crack, so you didn't lose your party members to what could have been a potentially terrible encounter.
Yeah, I got really lucky then.
Real quickly, Salty Fry is on Kraken 2 right now. That's happening off stream, but just want to mention that. Len about to take on Carry 2, and looks like the Lobsters are wreaking some havoc against Edge. He loses his black belt, but Life 1 and Cure 4 heal a lot of things. Edge working his way through the water floor. Len now gets to the water floor. And Sforzano is working through the early floors. Salty Fry. Oh, just took a wipe to Tiamat, too. We didn't see that from many of the other runners, but unfortunately just for Salty. He was in position to get our next finish and just took the unfortunate wipe to Tiamat.
Yeah, that is rough. And then he's rewarded by a gas defut. Meanwhile, let's see here.
Looks like Will. I'm actually not sure if this is.
Oh, that is Will Bloodworth is on Kraken 1.
Yeah, not the best seed for him. One of our runners who came on as a little bit of a surprise how well he was able to do in the tournament.
I'd say the best part, the only unfortunate part of Sforzando taking a wipe there is getting to see his party and the "That's What She Said" joke order instead of what "That's She Said" that we saw earlier.
Oh, okay. I didn't even notice what his names were.
All right, we got Edge Figaro making his way toward Tiamat 2. And I'd say with his high-level black belt, having gotten this far short of any ridiculous unrunnable encounter on the last floor here, he's should be set up pretty well to finish up the seed, I think. But Tiamat and Chaos were definitely have potential to throw monkey wrenches at you.
Looks like Terralyn is on the early floors of Temple of Fiends, so one of our other racers just to update their progress. Edge working against this Tiamat. I wonder if Tiamat didn't have something nasty that we didn't see with our under runners, because I was really surprised about that wipe for Salty.
Yeah, unfortunately it happened while I was had my concentration focused elsewhere. But
so Chad, if you happen to see if Tiamat had something nasty, let us know. As Edge is able to get by that, and we'll move on to the fight against Chaos. Fourth place is still up for grabs.
Yeah, and with all the garbage abilities that Chaos had, I'd say the worst case that could happen is if Slow 2 manages to connect with his black belt, or if that fast buffed Chaos manages to get a hold of him.
Alright, fast is off, and...
Oh, Chaos? 15 hits! That's probably half of Chaos's hit points. No. Of course, Edge Figaro does not know that. Ooh, and he dodges the slow 2 and hits the useless ninja.
That slow 2 could have been really a game changer, but didn't go that way for Chaos, and Edge Figaro is our 4th place finisher.
Yeah, Edge Figaro does finish with a SRL time of 2 hours, 1 minute, and 17 seconds. And we are joined in chat by Edge Figaro. Edge, GG, congratulations on 4th place there.
Thank you, thank you. That was an awkward and odd run.
What were some of the highlights for you?
Not knowing what to do at the magic shop right at the beginning. So there's 2 different paths you can take, and you can't figure out. I didn't know which way to go. I can buy XXX immediately on one character and go to Garland, or I can buy Bane and go to the Pirates. But I can't do both.
Yeah, you were not the only one that had indecision at the beginning of that seed. Some of your other fellow League Racing members, some of them went up to Matoya's cave, took the money, and then ran straight back to Corneria and kind of spread out their spell options that way.
That's what I did. The next thing that I really regret is not selling the flame armor immediately. If there was one big mistake I made in this race, it was not selling that immediately and buying gold bracelets for everyone.
Yeah, gold bracelets were, they definitely got the low end of the randomizer on this one. They were pretty cheap.
From there, I went to Peninsula of Power to grind the everything there died. But I was grinding up money for gold bracelets, which got me a bunch of levels. But if I just sell the flame armor, I get going 5 minutes earlier.
Yeah, that's with the extra money. Although I'd be curious to see how much money the flame armor would have gotten you, depending on what the randomizer took with it.
It brought 20k. It was huge. It was a massive windfall.
Checking on some of our other runners real fast, we've got Bismarck is in Temple of Fiends, Silverfire is as well, as is Terralyn. Of our remaining runners, those are the only 3 in Temple of Fiends that we're not seeing, as Len is up to Chaos. What'd you think of this Chaos fight?
He opened with fast, but I wasn't too worried unless he one-shots my black belt.
And by the way, I think Artea snuck in here on us. Are you there, Artea?
Yes, sir. GG's. Mono and Edge. You just
see Artea?
That was
some of
disappointingly easy.
We've got Len about to take down Chaos here. He does it with 1600 damage hit. And that is our 5th place finisher. Any highlights from the seat for you, Artea?
Not really highlights. Huge misplay. I started killing Tyros way too early, or attempted to start killing Tyros way too early. In retrospect, I should have waited until around 18 before I started going on that. I wasted a bunch of time there. But,
I killed 1 Tyro at level 12.
Oh man, I just grinded on Tyros.
Well, you got what you deserve.
Yeah, those steaks were a bit fattier than I liked them.
Although somebody, I didn't see who it was, but somebody cast Quad X on a Tyro. So they killed the Tyro, but they didn't get to enjoy the steaks because it was wiped from another dimension.
Oh, Kraken had Nuke.
Ooh, that's where Nuke was. Ooh, Sword
yep.
Sando survives it though with his red mage.
Just barely. But that's all you need.
If people went to
Apologies
Ice
if that's
Cave,
all news to one of you, but there's a lot we didn't get to see with this many runners.
if people went to Ice Cave early, it would have been a nasty disaster. There were some gross things in Ice Cave.
Oh yeah, there was a stun touch ghoul or wraith or image. I forget which one it was. Yeah, there was a lot of gross stuff in there. Blizzard. Blech. Gersharks also had something terrible too, which we're seeing on Salty Fry's screen. Although he manages to get a nice run.
But I mean, apart from that, it was all very straightforward with nothing particularly nasty. I mean, first turn nuke from Kraken was a bit annoying, but it's better than a slap in the face. You expect him to one-shot somebody anyway.
I'll be very curious to find out what happened with Salty, because he actually had a wipe at or right after Tiamat. So he was in position for like third at the time he took that wipe.
I think vampires hit pretty hard, and if they jumped you, you could get yourself into trouble.
Lynn, good game to you, sir.
A big GG to Manochi, who had a kick-ass time on this.
Thanks for that. Good game.
Oh, bad news for Salty. He loses his red mage. He is going to be down to just the black belt going against Tiamat.
Ooh, that is tough.
What
He's getting real low on heal potions too. He's down to about 10.
That is not a lot.
Still possible though. Chaos was relatively tame, although his black belt I think is only at the 32 threshold. So
Remember, Chaos cast fast first, and he hit once.
Chaos should be fine, but Tiamat was pretty dodgy and pretty beefy. So at 32, if he decides to melee, he's pretty much screwed.
Yeah, I'm not sure he has the power gauntlet. Most of our runners did not find it.
It was in Earth. I ended up searching and finding it just as a couple of extra chests here and there, and it wasn't too far out of the way. You know, had pretty early go mode, but I wanted more items.
yeah, Earthgate was pretty stacked. It had Opal Bracelet, White Shirt, and the Power Gauntlet.
Bracelet or the white shirt.
Oh, Salty Fry ends up taking that wipe, unfortunately.
And Esforzando is going to be our 6th place finisher, 208.
Well played to him.
Silverfire and Bismarck, by the way, both on the water floor.
Did one of these fiends have nuke or open with nuke? I heard something about that right when I was joining.
Kraken 2 had a nuke as his first spell.
See that. He died pretty quick.
All right, well, gentlemen, I'll throw this question out there. There's still a lot of Stage 1 flags still ahead. Anything you're looking forward to or looking at with a wary eye still?
I'm still waiting on a run that isn't black belt %.
This was one of the easiest Stage 1 runs I've seen. Like, it gives you all the quest items really early. Ordeals is a really good check with these flags, and it gave you everything this seed, and then Crown was in a free chest from the floater. This felt abnormally easy. I hope that when tomorrow's race, it's a much more hairy seed for all the runners.
Real quick, Bismarck has just gotten past Kraken 2. He lost his black belt in the fight. His ninja was actually able to win the fight for him, but he kept the red mage alive, so he's in good shape to continue on to Tiamat 2.
And yeah, to address what you're saying, Edge, yeah, it's a randomizer. It can swing easy and it can swing hard. This seed definitely swang easier with floater, slab, and crown, all very easily accessible, and with 2 ribbons and kind of a easy to check part of volcano. There's definitely it came down to most runners how effectively they managed to route the seed and how efficient they were in their leveling and their overworld routing. And just like any other randomizer, just a little bit of good old-fashioned luck too.
And Bismarck is now fighting Tiamat. Files, do you know who this is we have in the top right now?
I believe that is Salty Fry, actually. I think he moved him off of the because I think we're gonna finish up these 3 here, and then that'll be the rest of our broadcast for the evening.
Bismarck just tried Quad X on Tiamat to no success. Silverfire's on Kraken 2.
And judging by the health
on here now,
his party, he has not received any nukes quite yet. And we got a double fasted black belt, but it's worth the safety in case Kraken decides to reach out and touch one of them.
So I think this is 3rd or 4th try through Temple of Fiends for Terralyn. Looked like the level was low on that black belt, though. I think I only saw 24.
Well, it could be rough, depending on how they survive the damage and how many tempers and fasts the mages are able to get off if they can stay alive.
His main problem is going to be Kraken. I mean, if he gets the nuke off, his entire party can get wiped.
Yep. And since it'll take longer to get to kill off Kraken, that the odds of the Kraken not casting that, and if he's not casting nuke, he's one-shotting somebody. So.
Wait, guys, what was tempered? What level was it?
Level 6, I think.
Yeah, it was 5 or 6, I think.
Oh, probably 6. Maybe I didn't check anything above 6. Because I got fast, and I think that should be it. So I didn't bother checking any more spell shop afterwards.
Alright, so I'm going to be bringing in Swart Sando here to the commentary room.
Just real quick, Bismarck is up to Chaos now. So that is the lead of the rest of our runners at this point. Silverfire working on that Tiamat fight.
All right, Sforzano, congratulations and GG on your 6th place victory there.
It's one of those seeds, I think, that I can't necessarily be too happy with the way that ended. That seed basically gifted a 145 finish, and even if I finished where I would have without losing my red mage, I wouldn't have even come close to winning.
Did anything particular stand out to you? You kept pace pretty well at the beginning of the seed. For the most part, I think it was leveling strategies and a few other things that just caused a minor gap in kind of the mid game of this seed. But you definitely finished very strong.
Yeah, I thought I would go and take Agamas before the Ice Cave, and that was pretty much a mistake.
Yeah, Ice Cave was pretty brutal in this seed. A lot of not fun things in there.
See, I came out I had to skip 2 chests because the Frosties had something pretty nasty like Toxic or something like that. Those 2 I had to skip. Otherwise, Ice Cave was mostly fine for me. But yeah, my biggest regret is double dipping that Agama grind because it just didn't work out the first time.
And Chaos has just gone down for Bismarck, finishes in 7th place with a time of 2:15. That was a long fight for him, but he was able to get through it. Silverfire now is on the Chaos fight.
How high did you take your black belts?
I only went to 32. With 2 fasts, I felt confident that I didn't need to go above 32. 33, actually.
It looks like Quicklet snuck in there with a finish.
Yeah, Quicklet does take 8th place there. Yeah, it seemed like
I
most
actually
runners...
think that might have been intended to be a forfeit. I think he clicked the wrong thing based on what I'm seeing. So we have Will Bloodworth is on the water floor, so is Joker MB. And of the runners we don't have featured right now, those would be the furthest ahead.
But to answer your question, Edge Figaro, most of the runners did stop at 32 or plan on getting to 32 at Temple of Fiends. I believe you and I think one other runner went to 42.
I was far enough behind, and no one had done yet, so I'm like, I need Temple of Fiends to be really, really nasty and wipe people that would go to 32.
I was wondering if you had, because you still had the Earth Cave left when you were grinding up your black belt. I was wondering if the 42 black belt letting you run and faster through Earth Cave was a part of your decision, or were you purely focused on Temple of Fiends?
Yeah, I needed Temple of Fiends to be hard, so a 42 was like a threshold that other runners got stuck on. Because it takes 5 minutes to go from 32 to 42, and it takes around 10 if you have to run back to Chaos.
Salty has unfortunately lost his red mage yet again to this Kraken fight. It has been rough for him. Is that Silver joining us now?
Salty Fry, Temple of Fiends, Revisited Simulator has not been kind to him. Yeah, it looks like we got Bismarck in here. Congratulations on 7th place.
I feel like Will Ferrell from what is that movie? The Flint Tropics. What's that movie called? Where they go out and chant 7th place, 7th place.
Oh, I thought you were a fan of Anchorman and we're drinking milk and we're going to say it was a bad choice.
No, but I did actually do an Anchorman spoof for my job.
Well, tell us any highlights or anything crazy that you felt the seed did.
It was easy, and I over-prepared. Like, I was searching everywhere for the tail because I was 3-manning it with a dead black belt, and I figured I'm not going to stand a chance unless I have a ninja who can throw some armor on. And lo and behold, it was pretty much a cakewalk. So I feel pretty embarrassed by that, honestly. I spent way too much time getting ready and not enough time just out killing things.
Oh, interesting. So you would have been the only person that we saw then that did not do a black belt strategy. You went with a dead black belt and went with a ninja and what have you?
Oh yeah, I rode the black belt carpet all the way through Temple of Fiends. Actually, I revived him in Temple of Fiends. In my very first battle, he went from level 4 to level 10.
Well, nice.
I figured give him a little bit of extra health because I had my white shirt on him for the majority of the Temple of Fiends revisited, just so he could be a slightly beefier doormat, I guess. I thought it was a good strategy. Obviously, if it was great, I wouldn't have finished in 7th, but...
Well, you know what? You get bonus points in my heart, and then also in probably Artea's heart for killing off your black belt and man-moding it other ways.
Yeah, well, I was hoping Artea would be proud.
Well, he said in chat that he supports the murder of black belts, so...
I've been trying to do things without him, and I feel like I made the wrong choice here. And, when I got into Ice and I saw the Masamune right there, and I was like, man, I really should revive my... He was actually stoned. So really, I should soft him and just start grinding with him and get him to like 32 or something, but I decided not to, and I thought it was the right choice, but I went to Earth early, which wasn't exactly the most ideal choice. I went to Earth and did the first 2 floors to see if I'd get lucky and find something since I was only level 5. But when that didn't work out, I went to Ordeals. Or no, then I went to Volcano, cleared it, beat Carrie, then I went to Ordeals.
Real quick, a GG to Joker, who was just able to finish up in 10th at 220. Also of note, Will is on Chaos now, and he's likely going to be our next finisher.
Yeah, I'd say... sorry, go ahead.
We're going to start winding this down. Gentlemen, any final thoughts you want to share with us?
Yeah, Minochi's a cheater.
Yeah, I leveled my black belt. Sorry, man.
Cheater.
Yeah, he was not one of the featured streams, so we might have to play it back for some proof. Proof of the awesomeness.
And Will Bloodworth finishes up in 11th place at 2 hours 21 minutes. Thanks to all of our runners who have put on a great show tonight. We really featured a lot of you. You were able to come in and we were able to see your Temple of Fiends runs because they were well staggered. So a lot of you got some airtime tonight.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see in the seed where a lot of the items are given to you up front. It was definitely interesting to see everyone's different approaches and what have you. So well played to all of you.
And we can't say thank you enough to Nora, who did a great job as our restreamer tonight and kept swapping these runners in on the fly. That's not easy to do, but he did a great job keeping everything up for us.
Thank you, Nora.
Great job, thank you. Sorry, just pop on in, everyone.
We're used to it, Joker.
That's what I do best. Was I the only one who went Ordeals first?
No, I did too.
And still got smoked?
I wish I went to Ordeals first. I actually tried to go to Ordeals, and then I remembered I didn't have the canoe yet. I was like, God damn. This is one of those seeds. Other than that, I thought I did really well, but obviously I didn't.
Did anyone grind the black belt to 32?
Yeah, I did my grind to like 33, I think.
I think everybody grinded the black belt except me. He was a carpet.
Then you guys that just shows what the battle runners do. You guys, hats off to you. Y'all did fantastic.
Well, we're working on what's going to be next, but it does look like we're going to have to wrap this up pretty soon here. Thank you, Randomizer Mania, who's been great to us. Bismarck, let's start with you. Any final... Actually, Will just joined us, so Will,
Hey,
what do you want to say first?
what the hell happened?
Why is it an embarrassment to lose to me, Will? I take that offensively.
It's an embarrassment to lose as badly as I did to anyone.
I thought you just said it because you dot-dunned after me.
What's that?
I thought you said it because you dot-dunned after me. I'm like, wow. Throwing shade my way, man.
No, not at anyone. No, not at anyone but myself. No. Whether it had been Edgeworth or Tristal.
I'm just kidding with you, man. Just having fun with you.
Oh, it's all good. As like I said on the stream, you could trap deer with how much salt and air coming off me right now. I'm just in bad shape. I don't know what I did wrong, but everybody else didn't, apparently. Somebody can enlighten me, like what others did strategically that got them such fast times, like Minochi coming in, I think, with 140. What was his strat that got him such a quick time?
I just went Ordeal first and found floaters and slap and went straight to Zardia for crown.
Nice.
Yeah, so that saved me like a trip to Ice Cave. I didn't go there at all.
Yeah, you wouldn't have needed to. The only thing you missed out on was Masa. I mean, at that point in the game, it was really useless anyway, so... Yeah. I still have to account for like 40 minutes of time, so I imagine you didn't grind as much as I did, or most people probably didn't.
I went to 32, but then I had to double dip Volcano because Gamma was pretty hit pretty hard, so I ran out of potions.
Yeah,
but I had warped.
I did the exact same thing. I warped like 5 times out of Volcano, went back to town to buy heal, came back, and re-continued my grind to 32.
Ditto.
Yeah. It seemed like a good idea. It really seemed like a good idea at the time, and I was like, should I have gone to Ice and grinded the Eye? Like, am I totally boo-fooing myself here, or what's going on?
Well, gentlemen,
the Eye was pretty easy.
It is getting late here, so Will, I'll give you first chance to get your last word in.
I hope I never race that poorly again in the future. I'll definitely be racing in future league matches to get that dot 15 a little bit lower, preferably 0.
All right, Joker, anything you want to share?
Yeah, don't do what I do. I got lucky.
Beat me, buddy.
Sforzando?
According to the standings, only one person has jumped really into the top 5, so that's kind of a win for me at number 6.
Len, let's jump up to you.
I'd just like to congratulate Minochi, and I suspect that his time in this race will be the best stage 1 time.
I would wager that as well.
Edge, any final thoughts?
Yeah, tune in tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern Time for the next league race.
That should be restreamed on Speed Gaming, I think.
I believe that's correct. Bismarck?
Go Buffalo.
Go Patriots!
You got it, buddy.
Go Patriots!
Artea's still with us.
Any final thoughts, Artea?
Go Patriots!
No.
Patriots are the best.
Well said.
Sorry, I don't care about football.
Alright, fair enough. Alright, guys. Oh,
and
go ahead,
Minochi, you won, so you get to get the last word in.
No, Artea, go ahead. What were you
just looking forward to future matches and seeing how everyone stacks up once we get the other rounds going.
Yeah, me too. And thanks, Files and Chinton, for the commentary, and thanks, Nora, for the restream.
Yeah, awesome job. Thank you
Awesome
so
jobs,
much.
guys.
Wouldn't be able to do it without Jess.
Well, we had a lot of fun, and I'll again say thank you to Randomizer Mania, and thank you to Nora for doing a fantastic job. And thank you, Files. It was a lot of fun working with you tonight. Have a great night, everybody.
yeah, always have a good time commenting with you as well, Triton. Got a couple things to plug here. Just as a heads up, the Zelda 1 randomizer brackets, they do resume after AGDQ on the 15th, so definitely check out that. That will be featured on this channel. And if you haven't already, give Random Mania a follow here. There's tons of great randomizer content on this channel. They have Random Mania channels 1 through 4, I believe. So definitely give those a follow. There's all kinds of good content coming on there. I know a lot of the big streamers and randomizer players are taking small breaks for games done quick, but there's still content on these channels, throughout the year. So, would once again like to give a big thanks to all the runners, and again to Norastreza for the host and the restreaming. And that'll be it for us. Make sure you guys follow Trenton and everyone else who was a big part of this race, and we will see you guys later on in the week. Have a good night.
Why don't we throw a raid out to Salty here for some encouragement?
You don't have the ability to raid with the channel. Certainly encourage everybody who wants to go over and show some love. I'm certainly going to.
For sure.
Alright guys, have a good night.
Take care.